everyone, welcome to Python Programming Masterclass. This is Shriya Keshri and I will be helping you understanding the concept of Python. We will start learning from the very basic level and we will get to the advanced level. This will be the first video of this series in which we will be going to learn about the basic introduction of Python. We have to first know what Python is and why we are learning it and where we are going to use it, right? So in this video, we will be getting all the basic information and I will also help you understand some of the basic concept before we start writing our program. We also need to understand where we have to write this code and so where we have to download the Python program and all these things. So let's begin. So in this video, we will be understanding about the Python's history, the code feature and how we set up the environment. We can either use VS Code or maybe run it in our own browser. We will get into it. Next will be the basic syntax that we will be covering in this video, such as comments, reserved keywords, and some naming rules of identifiers. And we will also learn about the variables, how they represent the memory, how we assign the variables, and all such concepts. So starting this video, the topic is what is Python, why we are learning it. So Python is basically a high-level language. It is called a high-level language because it is very similar to English. See, if you start learning other programming language, you will see the syntax is very different. It doesn't have many English words, so it will be kind of harder to understand it. But in Python, the syntax is very human readable. Like if you read the code from the words itself, you can understand what the program is doing, right? Okay. The next thing is it is interpreted. There are two types of programs. Two types of coding languages. First one is interpreted, the second one is compiled. So Python is interpreted, i.e. it is executed line by line without any explicit manual compilation. In the case of compiled languages, the whole program is compiled by the compiler, but in case of Python, we learn line by line. So it is called interpreted language. The next thing is the general purpose of Python. So we use Python for web development, AI, automation, and data science. In data science, Python is widely used. Okay. Next one is the object-oriented. Yes, Python is an object-oriented language. You won't understand what object-oriented is, but we will be learning about it. So we will get into it. Next thing is the history of Python. See, Python was basically made in 1989 by Guido von Rossum. It was the first time when the Python language came in. It was released in 1991. That time we had 0.9.0 version. It was published to 8 sources with classes and exceptions. What the classes are, what the exceptions, we will get to it. But you have to just understand what the history was. So first it was released in 1991. Then in 2000 it was changed. Some things were changed. It was provided garbage collection and Unicode support. Then comes the modern Python that we use in our native practice. It is called Python 3. It has very it cleans up the syntax redundancy and it provides a modern ecosystem standards. Next we have to understand why we are learning Python. So Python provides many applications throughout the computer science domain. The first one that we will start with is artificial intelligence. We all know how much AI is growing in these times. And for learning all the ML models and AI models, we have to understand Python. Web development also has applications for Python in the backend especially. Then comes the automation. Whenever we write scripts to streamline our repetitive systems such as bots, we need Python. Then after comes the data science, all the basic visualization and analyzing of the data sets are done by NumPy and Pandas, which are basically Python's library. Next comes the cyber security, penetration testing script, networking audacity, and security tools. All of them work under Python. Next one is the game development. We all have seen all the 2D and the 3D games that are coming in the market right now. All of them uses some kind of Python programs in themselves. The next thing is the core features of Python. There are many programming languages in the market, but we are learning Python because it has many features. The first one is it is simple and easy. See, the syntax is very English-like. It uses many simple words that we will be learning soon. that we will be learning soon. So it is very simple and easy to understand. The next thing is that it is portable, i.e. it runs smoothly across Windows, Mac OS and Linux seamlessly, i.e. the operating system doesn't affect its working. Next thing is free and open source, i.e. all of its libraries and all of its libraries are totally free. We can use, modify, and distribute our program and others' program for our projects as well. There is a large standard library that has already, there are many libraries that have built-in modules that we can directly use for our projects. The next one is the object-oriented thing. Python treats every program as objects and classes learning soon. And the last one is that it is interpreted language. It runs line by line, so debugging is very fast in its case. Going to understand how we are going to use Python. So for it, we need to install it first. The first thing that we can do is to go to the python.org, and from that website we can download Python. So from python.org website, you can go to this website and download the latest version according to your operating system. Okay. So yeah, here you can download the installing manager, and afterwards, when the download is completed, you will get you will get this app. It looks more like a terminal, and then we can write all our codes here, and it runs. As you can see, I write print hello, and it is printing on the screen. So first one is this. The other one that you can do is that you can go to the VS Code yourself. So here it is. You can go to the VS Code, open a new file, choose the Python file here. So you go to the new file, use a Python file. Yeah. So you will be getting this. So if you will be getting this here, this is a Python file. Okay. So here it is. We write the commands that we need to run. And you can run it by this options button here, but we have to first save it. So I am going to write Python tutorial. Yeah. So we save the file, and now it will be printed in the terminal itself. So here it is printing our hello message. So you can use VS Code for the same purpose, and you can also use any online Python compiler or interpreter, whatever you need this. Yeah. So here it is. There are many websites who provide these services for very free, but you have to need the internet for this to work. So you write whatever you wanna write. Here it is, and then you run it. And here in the output section, the hello word is printed, and it says code execution successful. So either you download it from this website and use it as an app directly, such as this, or you can use the VS Code that I show you already. And the third one is using this kind of online compiler. So in either one of these cases, you can use to program. Okay. So I told you about the IDE installation. I told you about the VS Code. Yep. So let's start with our first program, that is printing some words. Whatever the message we want to print, we can use it. So how we write it? First is the print word. Print is the command that we are going to use. It needs bracket to enclose whatever the message we are going to write, and then we use this. And inside this, we have to write whatever we want to print. Okay. So like I'm writing this, and it will print. Yeah. So this will be your first code. Do try to do it yourself. Okay. So this is what it is. We have to print any kind of words if we want. There's a built-in print function which is enclosed in the quotation marks, and it will print the output in the terminal. The next one is the comments in Python. So from here, we are going to understand whatever we are going to use in our programs. So before we get into the commands or whatever the other things are, I need you to understand what comments are. So whenever we are going to write the program, maybe in future we forget what we are writing, or we will need some kind of note so that other programmers will understand what we have wrote in our program. So we use comment for this purpose. So here, as you can see, we can use comments. So let's take the example of this. Here, I want my viewers to understand what I am doing here. So I will simply write this line prints message, right? So this line prints message. Now, when I run this command, only this gets printed here. This line is totally ignored by the interpreter itself. Why? Because this line is a comment. This is for us to understand. When we are going to write the program, this line, these comments will only be shown to us in the program itself. When it runs, this line is totally ignored by the interpreter. So even if I write any command, the same command that I have written before, it will be totally ignored. This is the function of commands. Okay. But this is an inline command. There are two types of command. This one is the inline command. It is used when there is only a single line of command. So you can write it in the with the command itself, with your program commands itself. But if you need multi-line comments, then you use this, and you write whatever it is, and then include it. Wait a minute. Yep. So I do this. I do this. Yes. So as you can see, I wrote these three. Yeah. So here, all these things that I have written, it's not getting printed here, right? Let me show you more clearly. Yeah. So I write these three commas here, and I write hello, my viewers, and I enclose it. If I run the same thing, it is getting ignored. So this one is your inline command, and this one is your multi-line command. This is inline command, and this is multi-line command. Okay. So what we have learned about comments in Python is that we use the comments whenever we have to explain our codes to other developers. These comments are totally ignored by the Python interpreter. These are only for us programmers to read, and it helps in debugging and disabling any specific lines temporarily. Such as we don't want any line of code, but we do not want to totally delete it from our code, then we simply comment it out. There are two type of comment. One is the single line comment where we use the hashtag, and the second one is the multi-line comment where we use this. Okay, so this is what we have learned so far about comments. Right. The next thing which we are going to learn is Python keywords. See, as when we write our programs, we use many words, right? So such words which are reserved in Python that we can't use for any other purpose. These are the words that are specifically reserved for some kind of function. They have some kind of meaning in the to the compiler, to the interpreter. So they cannot be used as variable names. So these words are called the keywords, such as if. if word is used whenever we have to write any condition. Okay, so we can't write if is equal to 5, right? We can't use this. Keywords are reserved, but they have a specific meaning. So whenever we need that meaning in a Python program, then we can use it, except it can't be used. If we will use it, it will only return an error. Okay, so how we this is okay, so this in these slides, it tells us that if we want to see all the keywords that are present in the Python programs, we can import the keyword thing and print keyword.kw list to print out all the keywords. There are total 35 keywords in the Python version. Okay, so let's see. Let's try to do it. Okay, we have finished reading the commands. Okay, so I do this. This is our Python, right? We're learning Python, right? So if I do this, yeah, what is this? These are the commands. Comments we have already learned, right? So next thing here is you can import keyword. What was it again? Let's see. We import keyword and then we print keyword.kw list, right? This was it. This is what we are told to do, right? Now we did it. So as you can see, these are all the keywords that have some special meaning and we can't use it as variable. This is false, none, true, and as, assert, async, await, break, class, continue, def, then, elif, else, except, finally, for, from, global, if, import, in, is, lambda, non-local, not, or, pass, raise, return, try, while, with, will. So these are all the keywords. Okay. The next thing that we have to learn is the identifiers. These are the names that we provide to that are given in the program itself. The different elements, which is variable, function, classes, they all have some kind of names, and these names are called identifiers. Okay, and there is certain naming rules that we have to use for these identifiers. The first one is that it should only contains letter. It doesn't matter if these are capital or small, but it can be letters. Then it can has digit and has an underscore, but it must not start with a digit. Okay, it is in Python, the identifiers are case sensitive, i.e., if there is a mixture of capital and small, they are all considered different, such as capital A in H and small a in S, they are both considered different. So we cannot use these words, and we cannot use reserved keywords as identifiers. Okay. So let me give you an example. Yeah. So let's start writing a program. So if I write A is equal to 5, here A is a name. We are naming a variable A that is going to store a value 5, right? So A is an identifier. A is a name. So what kind of identifier can I use? We can use a name, such as I can write Mayank. Yeah, Mayank is equal to 7. So we have used Mayank as an identifier name. Okay. I can also write like this. In this example, I am using letters, digit, and an underscore, right? So yeah, so we are writing num1 is equal to 4. If I try to print this, right, I am going to print them. Yeah. So if I try to print them, it is going to show what these characters store. So these are just the name, and this is the value that they are going to store. Acha. What if I write it is like this? Yeah. What if I write it like this? In the notes, we just saw that the we just saw that the identifiers can't be start with a digit, but I am going to. Let's see what happens if we do, right? Here. It shows in syntax error. Why there is an invalid digital literal? One is before the underscore. We can't use a digit in the first place. So this throws an error. Okay. So basically, these are the identifiers. Identifiers are the name of the variables. We will see in future that there are functions. So all the names of the functions, classes, variables, whatever there are, these all the names are called identifiers. There are the rules for defining the identifiers. That is, we can use letters, we can use numbers, we can use underscore, but we can't use the digit in the first place, and we can't use keywords as identifiers. Let's see. Let's try to. Also, it's saying invalid syntax. Why? Because if is a keyword, it can't be used as a variable name, right? It can't be used as an identifier. Okay. So here are some of the examples. We just saw how we are going to do it, but let's read this too. Here, this one is student. There are simple lowercase name that consists purely of alphabetical letters. Here it is student slash name. No, student underscore name. So we can use this snake case. This other way of writing this is called snake case. So we use underscore for connecting words. Next one contains a number along with the letters. And the last one is that we use short readable, and perfectly standard variable identifier so that in our program we don't mess things up. For example, if I have to write a program where I have to install age of people, so age of the first one is 16 year, age of second child is 15 years. So this is how we are going to store the ages. But what if I do not write the whole name? I write this. It will work the same way. It is not going to disturb our program. But if we write such kind of names, and when we read our code in the near future, we won't be able to remember what this A1 represent. So we always use such words that are easy in our program, but also help us in remembering and help us in understanding our program well. Okay, next one is understanding the variables. So variables act as a labeled container or reference tag pointing to data stored in a computer memory. So there is the memory. Whenever we write, such as here is an example, age is equal to 20. So there is the address and we store the value 20 in them. And at that address, we are naming that address as age. So whenever we write age in future, this age word will be going to refer to that address and the value stored in that address. That's the purpose of the identifiers. So these variables act as a label container or reference tag pointing to the data stored in the computer memory. So variable naming best practices. Useful meaningful names. Use meaningful names. Choose self-explanatory name like total price instead of vague tags like X or temp. As I told you before, also you can use X, temp, or this kind of variables. But in future, you won't be able to remember what it is used for. So always use those words which are self-explanatory. Next is use snake case. Whenever you have to use some multi-word identifier, you can use underscore to connect them all. Keep it concise. We don't want it to get very big or our program will get very bulky. And there you have to maintain consistency. If you are going to, if you are using age 1 in the starting of program, use age 1 in the letter also. Do not changes in the code base, right? Next is the multiple assignment. So I already told you that whenever we have to assign, we just write a is equal to 1, right? What will you do if you want to assign many variables at the same time? See, a is equal to 2, b is equal to 3, and c is equal to 5. Okay, and then I write to print it. Okay. Yeah. So what we are doing here, A, B, C, these three are the variables. 2, 3, 5 are the value which are going to store in this variable. And when we print A, B, C, it is printing the value that is stored in these variables A, B, C. But what if we do not want to use this multiple lines for the same assignment? We can do all this assignment simultaneously in one line. See how we are going to do it. So we first write all the variables that we have to initialize. Then we write the value that we have to be associated. Yes. And see, when we try to print A, B, C, it prints 2, 3, 5. A is assigned with 2, B is assigned with 3, C is assigned with 5. Simple, right? So here you go. A, B, C is equal to 1, 2, 3. And when we print A, B, C, it prints the stored value. So how it works, then whenever we assign multiple values to multiple variables simultaneously in single line with comma separation, we use it. Okay. Number of variables on the left must match the number of values on the right. If you will write A, comma B, comma C is equal to 1, 2, the C is never getting initialized, right? So there will be an error. Next one is the chain assignment. If we want all of our variables to have the same value, then we can write it like this. So, in the first option, we could have write it like this. A is equal to 100, B is equal to 100, and C is equal to 100, right? This is the naive way to do this. And when we print A, B, C, this is 100, 100, and 100, right? If we are going to do multiple assigning, then we can do it like this, right? And we print it, it will get printed. Now, since we are seeing that both, no, not both, all this A, B, and C are going to have the same value, what is the purpose of writing all this 3 times? Why we are going to write it is, so we just write it like this. Okay, since A, B, and C both all store the same value, we just use the this equal sign for this chain assignment. So the single identical value is assigned to multiple variables in one continuous statement. So all 3 variables A, B, and C is referencing to the same integer object 100 in memory. Right? So there is the same memory space that is stores 100, and A, B, and C, all 3 of them refers to that memory space. That's what it's trying to say, right? Thus, there is swapping variables in Python. Okay. So there are 2 ways that we can do it. The first one is the other language, the traditional way that you can see in other language that use a new that introduces a new variable called the temp, and then there is our Pythonic way that is the more elegant way. I will be showing you both of these here. Wait a minute. Yeah. So I am saying that A is 6 and B is 8. I want A to be B and B is equal to C. So, in our traditional way, what we are going to do, in our traditional way, we make a new variable that is temp or the temporary. Okay? This temporary variable, is used to store the value stored in A. So, we are saying temp is equal to A. That is, when this 6 is now getting stored in temp. So if I try to print temp, It shows 6, right? So we are storing the value of a in temp. Since its value is safe now, we are storing b's value in a. And lastly, we are placing the value of temp in b. So now if I print a and b, what we are going to get? A is 8, B is 6. Firstly, it was A is 6, B as 8, but here it is getting swapped. So this is a traditional way of doing it. Now I am going to show you the Pythonic way. We do not write this much of the lengthy code. It's too lengthy, right? We are using 3 lines for the swapping. So it is very lengthy. We can do it simply in 1 line. And that is this. We are saying a comma b is equal to b comma a, that is a is equal to b and b is equal to a. And now if I print a comma b, yeah, we are getting a 6, right? So a, which was 6 first, has now become 8, and b, which was 8 first, has now become c. So this is used in swapping. So Python uses tuple packing and unpacking under the hood to swap values without a temporary variable. There is no temporary variable such as this temp, so it is more Pythonic way, elegant way, and it only uses a single line. Okay. Next one is the assignment statement. Okay. So we have been using a is equal to 6, b is equal to 8. So this is assigning, right? We are using a variable name, that is an identifier, and we are providing it with a value, right? But what if I want my variable to have a value stored in other variable? Then we do this. Then C will have the value stored in A. And if I want to change this by some, then I can do this. Okay. So let me show you, right? Yeah. Here. So what does this do? It is taking the value from A, that is 6. It is adding 6 plus 6 and then printing C, that is 12. If I introduce another variable and write PB minus 2, right? Okay. And I print this. Then we are getting 6. That is 8 minus 2, right? So what we are doing here, we are evaluating the value, right? We are using the value stored in X and then we are adding 5. So Y becomes 15. We are using the variable stored in variable. We are using value stored in variable on the left side and we are using it to evaluate. Okay. Next is what are the beginner's mistake that we do. First one is forgetting quotes. Whenever we have to print some kind of a string, then we have to enclose it in quotes, right? Whenever I have to write, see, my name is Shreya, right? So whenever I have to write some kind of words or simple messages, then we have to use these quotes. If I do not use these quotes, if I miss this here, yeah, then it is saying an invalid syntax. Okay? Yes? Because we are missing the quotes. But if you see here, we do not use this quotes here, right? In A, B, C, D, while printing this, we didn't use quotes. Why? Because A, B, C, D, these are not simple strings. These are the variables, right? For variables, we do not use this quotes, but for strings, we do. For literal strings, we do. Otherwise, we will get a name error. Then we have invalid names using digits first, like first name causes instant syntax error. I told you before also by the naming rules, we can't use a digit at the first position. Then is the indentation mistakes. Adding unwanted spaces before basic statements causes indentation error. See, if you will see other languages, they use curly brackets. they use this kind of curly brackets for marking the domain or the scope of the code. But in Python, we do not use this curly brackets. We only use our spaces or tab indentation. So indentation is very important when we start writing full code. So we'll understand why indentation is important. Next one is keyword variable. Trying to name variable using keywords like class equal to 5 is illegal. Yes, keywords can't be used as variable name, identifier name. I told you already, keywords have their specific meaning, have their specific use, so they can't be used as variable name. Next, here are some practice questions which we are going to do, right? Okay, that's okay. So now whatever we have learned so far in this video, we are going to practice some questions uh, using those concepts. So let's get to our interpreter, right? Okay. So let's imagine. Yeah. So the first one is asking us what will be the output of print type string 10. Okay, right. So the first question that we are doing is we are using type. What does type command do? So the function of this type here is to print out the data type of whatever we are using inside it. So we have to first learn about the data types. I'll be teaching you in this in next class. But for now, all you need to remember is that every thing that we use in our program has some kind of data type. Maybe they can be integer, maybe some kind of decimal number or string or boolean, whatever the data type is. There are some kind of data types, and type command is used command is used to get info about the data type of the variable. Okay, let's test it out. Yeah, print. So this was the question, right? Print type of 10. Acha. Now, 10 here looks like a digit, but since it is enclosed in these quotes, it is working like a string here. So when I write this, it says class str. Str represents string here. Okay. So it is saying that the variable you have written inside or the type function shows that it is from string class. What if I remove this from here? Then it shows class int, right? Then if I do this, wait a minute. Yeah. So it is saying class bool. Bool means boolean. So the function of this type command is to get info about the data type. We will be talking about these data types more in the upcoming classes, so you don't have to worry about it. Which of the following is a valid identifier? To var underscore var or var minus 2. So let us use them. The easiest way to find it out is that we can use it, right? First one was this. Second one is underscore var. This. And next one is var 2. Now I'm going to print all of them so I would know which one of them is good and which of them is not. Yeah. So the first thing it is saying that 2 var is equal to 2 shows an invalid decimal literal. Why is that? We have learned already that 2 can't be used in the first place, right? So if I remove this, then it will work. Wait a minute. Yeah. So now this one is good. Here, underscore board if is equal to 4, it doesn't create any problem for us because underscores are allowed. But here it is saying that cannot assign to expression here. Var minus 2 is equal to 7. We can't use this minus sign here. We can only use the underscore, right? That's what we have learned so far. We can use digits, alphabets, and underscore, but we can't use any other sign than this. So now these all are valid. How do you write a single line comment in Python? So, single line comment, I told you already, we are going to use this hashtag. And here it is our single line comment, right? And if we have to write multiple line, then we use this triple quotes, multiple line comments. And then, as I told you, all these comments are simply ignored by the interpreter. What is the value of a and b after executing a comma b is equal to 5 comma 10 and then a comma b is equal to b comma a. So let's do it. Work to the same time. So it is saying that we have to first assign it a comma b is equal to 5 comma 10, right? And then it is saying that we have to swap the values b comma a, right? And then I print a comma b. So what happens here? A was 5, but now it is 10, and B was 10, now it is 5. So basically the values get swapped. So this is what this does. Next question asks, can we use for as a variable name in Python? Why or why not? So we have learned about keywords, that are some reserved words which have some special meaning in our program, and we can't use it as a name for variable. We can't use it as identifiers. For is one of them. So if I try to use it as a variable name, it will show an error, right? Yeah, it is showing that there is an invalid syntax. So can we use for as a variable name in Python? No, because for is an keyword and keyword can't be used as an identifier. So these are all the practice questions for whatever we have learned. Since we have not learned anything very special about the coding, we just learned about the basic things that that concerns Python. So these are only the basic practice questions. And now the next thing is there are some kind of homework question here that is for you to understand. If you are done with the video till now, then you can leave. You can solve these problems that I'm providing here, and now I'm going to solve these homework questions. So you can do this question beforehand by yourself, and then you can match it with how I am doing it. Okay. Okay, let's start with it. Okay, so now let's get to this homework problem. The first question says write a script to display your name, course, goal on separate lines, right? So let us write it. So for printing, we use the print keyword, right? And we write whatever we have to write here. Name, Shreya, Shri, right? Then we have to write about the course we are studying. So course is Python programming, right? And for the last one, we have print our goal. So what is the goal? The goal is to make beginner friendly course. Okay. So now I will run it. So here. So we are printing our name, course, and goal all in separate lines, right? This is what we have to do. Display your name, course, goal on separate line. We did it. Next question says declare 3 variables in a single line using multiple assignment. So this is a simple task actually. Let us do it. Oh, why isn't it? Yeah. So I'm going to use num1, num2, num3, and num4. These are my 4 variables, and I'm going to provide them with their values all in the same line by using multiple assigning. Yeah. And when I try to print them, print num1, print num2, then comes the print num3, and lastly print num4. So when I print them, 19, 15, 17, and 50. So in this way, we can do the multiple signing in a single line. Then since the swap 3 variables A, B, C simultaneously. So what we are going to do, see, A is equal to 2, B is equal to 4, and then C is equal to 6. These are our variables, A, comma B, comma C. Now we have to swap, right? So I am going to swap A with B, B with C, and C with A, right? So let me write it down. A with B, B with C, and then C with A here. And when I'll print A, B, and C, what we are going to get is 4, 6, and 2. So A became 4, B became C, and C is now 2. So we have swapped all the 3 of them. List 5 invalid identifier name. Explain why Python rejects them. Oh. So here is what we are going to do. See, if I do this, then this one is the correct way to write any identifier. But if I use this, then it won't, because it can't be used. We can't use it like this. Digits can't be at the first place. The first one is this. The second thing, we can't be using. Wait a minute. So we can't be using this, right? Why? Because we can't use spaces. If we have to use multiple words, we can use the underscore, but we can't use space in between them. And the last one is, if I do this, it won't work because these are the keywords, and keywords can't be used as identifier. So all 5 of them won't be working here. Wait a minute. All 5 of them won't be working here. These are all invalid. Invalid identifiers. This is it. All the homework questions are done as well. So in this lesson, we learned what Python is. We learned all the basics of Python. Then we set up the environment where we are going to write our Python code. Then we learned about the basic syntax. We learned about comments, identifiers, variables, assignment, and memory model. So in the next video, we are going to understand about the data types and the operator that we use in Python. So yeah, this is it for this video. Let's meet in the next video.